It's that time again. It's time for the VCB podcast with your host, Jason Smith and Ronaldo Villarreal. Disability Pride Month in the month of July 2023. Ray and I will be discussing a little bit about that, plus updating you on everything that's happening this month at Valley Center for the Blind. But without further ado, let me bring in the man, the myth, the legend, Ronaldo Villarreal. What's up, Ray?
Yeah, what's up, Jason?
I look forward to doing that. What's up, Ray? I got to get better at I think I could be like the Vince I say Vince McMahon. It's not wrestling. Ed McMahon.
Ed McMahon.
Vince McMahon.
Oh my gosh.
Dropping elbows on you. I definitely would rather be Ed McMahon than Vince McMahon. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Anybody who knows wrestling should know that Vince McMahon is kind of a bad person.
Well, there you go.
Anyway, this is not a wrestling podcast.
It can be one day.
This podcast could be anything it wants to be. We could talk football.
Josh Jacob.
Hey, let's talk. Well, yeah, we could talk. You know, we would never stop, or we could talk the Niners. Okay, not much to talk about. Move on.
All right, let's go. Let's move
on.
Gosh, Jason, the last 2 days I've been waking up super early because there's been just East Coast time projects that have been doing things and just getting things done, and it's I'm just hype. I think I need to go back to this early morning shift again.
Yeah, so you want to come in tomorrow at 5?
You know what? No, not naming any staff members, executive departments or anything, but yeah, they were talking about 5 a.m. call. 5 a.m. call. Wow. Which would be 8 o'clock East Coast time, right? Yes, so it'd be an 8 o'clock. Yeah, so yeah, when I have like a 7 o'clock morning call, it's like super early and for me, but it's like 10 o'clock to them. So they're like, oh, yay. Anyways.
Yeah, well, I know that sometimes we go on meetings and we're with East Coast people, and I always started off with
good morning.
Good morning. I'm like, I'm sorry, good afternoon.
Oh my gosh, now we're rambling.
Yeah, we're rambling. It's okay though, because that's,
yeah.
It's
been a while. It's been a while.
Seems like it's been a while. Yeah. And we got some exciting stuff going on.
We had some exciting stuff too this month.
Yeah, there's Disability Pride Month for the month of July, but it finally happened, and we've been talking about it all year, about it being our 50th
anniversary.
Yeah, and we got to bring it in together as an organization on Saturday. What were your thoughts about that, Ray?
My gosh, it was amazing to see the family.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about family here at the agency and the culture that we have, and actually being able to see the kids of staff members coming and having fun and playing video games. Nathaniel was playing air hockey with Alvin actually. And
awesome.
He was like just giving it to Alvin. He was like,
I bet. He was, who doesn't?
Shout out to Alvin. Thank you for listening. You know what though? Alvin still didn't go easy on Nathaniel.
Oh, I can see that competitive nature. He wants to turn into some fantasy sport, right?
Oh my gosh, it was awesome to watch. Nathaniel was like giving him the finger, like the regular finger, not the bad one.
Please specify that.
He's just wiggling his little pointer finger, like I got you. And so it was awesome, and just being able to be there as a team, it brought tears to me, and some other individuals and staff, but it was a wonderful thing,
Shout out to our Situs supporters. Just you know what I'm saying? Like, because that's the first thing I thought of being there is, here we are, we're celebrating VCB's 50 years, and we're all coming together and we're all standing up and we're telling the story. And it just hit me that I was like, wow. I mean, we talk about how the agency wouldn't be where it's at if it wasn't for all the hard work we put in. But what about all of the hard work our Situs supporters have put in over the years, not only supporting us in our career choice or in our path, but our rehabilitation, supporting us in the areas that we need them to do. I know you have one. I have one that, I know sometimes it's tough on them, but they always find a way to come through for us. And without them, we wouldn't be where we're at today.
Exactly. And that's like one of the things that I wanted to make sure that I spoke about that day is like, it takes that family, it takes a village.
Yep.
You know, and it's an amazing thing. I keep talking about it all the time, but yeah.
No, but it was an amazing event. Great. Every time there's food, you can never go wrong.
And I was super happy to see the staff being able to do blindfold bumper cars.
That was my next thing. Like, if you guys have not, check out the VCB Facebook page, Instagram page. There's some pictures on there. There's one of a large group of not only just blind individuals, but sighted, or even the ones that had partial sight blindfolded themselves.
Yeah.
So that was fun.
Yeah. So staff that has the recordings out there, because I know somebody has a recording.
Somebody
out there
had to
recorded that.
Yeah. Usually I'm walking around with the camera, but that day I was just enjoying the day. I did not have my camera with me.
No, I was just having fun with the kids, and they have a Hungry Hippo game there too. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, you know what? We were standing there, and I kept hearing this pa pa pa, and I asked Catherine. I said, "What is that?" She goes, "It's a Hungry Hippo game. They're sitting on these hippos, and I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" So I had to go check that out, dude, because that was cool.
We got Alvin on that too. But you know what?
He lost in that one too, I'm sure.
You know what was pretty cool though? We're talking about July being Disability Pride Month.
Yeah,
it is makes me so happy, and to be able to go out as a group like that with blind individuals, with our sighted children, because that's the thing we want to. Most of our children are sighted, that and our spouses and stuff like that, and be able to just have that fun at an arcade. And represent, because we were all wearing our VCB 50th anniversary shirt, so we could be. Everyone knew, that we were here for like a group of us, and there was actually a kid waiting, with his dad while Nathaniel and Alvin were playing air hockey, and I was helping Nathaniel. And what I was told is that this kid was wanting to watch us play because he found out, like, he was like, "Hey, Dad, he can't see," meaning Alvin.
Mm-hmm.
And his dad's like, "Yeah, so let's give them their time." And he's like, "No, I want to watch." He was so intrigued on how this individual was able to still do something with somebody else and a kid that was sighted.
Yeah,
it made me feel so proud as a father with a disability to be able to go out in the community and show that we're still able to do things.
Well, it's the education part, and I think when we bring together our families like that, Ray, it helps us educate differently than what we're used to. But pulling the curtains back a little bit for my family, amazing day for our family. We stayed till 4:00.
Yeah, I'm sorry I missed you guys.
Yeah.
We stayed till like 2:30, 3:00, and there were still staff members still there, and I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, and well, we have an excuse why we didn't realize it. But no, seriously, like the kids were like, "Oh, when do we get to play?" And I was like, "No, we're going to be at this event first, and then you guys, and I'll make sure we will stay." And we did. But I noticed a difference in my children when the ceremonial part of the event was over. And it was something I left alone. I complimented them on how they were treating each other. And I was telling Catherine, I believe that has a lot to do with the way my kids not only saw us together, but when we started sharing stories and how much we cared. And let's face it, we love one another, dude. Like, our community is a lot. For some of us, like, there's different pockets. We all know each other, but we all have gone through the same journey of dealing with sight loss, right? But there's also been these pockets of instances as an agency that help us grow close together as well.
Yeah, and this is one of them.
Yeah, and it was totally displayed. And my kids, for the first time I can remember, right? Like, they loved each other that day.
Yeah.
They were running around playing games. Shout out Vanessa for giving me her card, and I kept it in my pocket. And then I only did one ride, and Catherine did a ride, and then we just kind of went and sat at a table, and we took that time to bond and talk, and then the kids come back and they're like, I won this on a claw machine, and the other one's like, I got this one, and then one came back and didn't get one. So I pulled the card out and I said, hey, you guys all have another ride. They took that card and went and won their sister one so she could have one.
That's awesome.
They were thinking of others.
Yeah.
Like putting themselves second and putting other people above themselves, which is what our community is known for.
Yeah, exactly.
And as we push forward, because we deal with a lot of that stigmatism and discrimination, and to see my kids come above that, to come together. So that event did that for me as well. So across the board, our internal family, our extended families, right? Like
just the general population. Again, there was over 30, 40 of us out there, and that's a big group of blind and low vision people to see at once.
Correct.
Maybe most people see one person rarely out in the community, crossing the street, because I always get those stories. Oh, I saw a blind person crossing the street. That's so awesome. Yeah. But now you're seeing a whole bunch of them running around in John's Incredible Pizza and just having a good time, having a great old time.
And by the way, just pull the curtain back a little bit more. Tom Randall, thank you. It was an amazing experience to have you there and being a part of VCB. He was really recognized and well deserved.
Yeah.
And by the way, Tom, my kids think you're a superhero.
He is a superhero.
He is a superhero.
Yeah, that guy is amazing. He's been in the agency and the community for I say over 20 years.
Yeah.
There's numbers debates going on, but either way, we know Tom has been loyal to this community for the longest time, and we got an opportunity also to do a special recognition for him.
Yeah.
And for those, again, check out our Facebook page. You'll see some photos there. Share the love. If you have a story about Tom, please go ahead and post. I saw a comment already about it, and just sharing that Tom was very inspirational for that student, and they made it. They're independent and successful now. And so I know there's many of those out there. So
yeah, you've been doing it as long as he has. He probably has a long resume of that, and that to me that was the highlight. But not to be overdone either, though. There was a close number 2.
Yeah.
The city came out.
Yep.
And go ahead and explain what the city was able to do for us that it touched a lot of us.
Yeah, so the city of Fresno came out and gave us, basically honored VCB in recognizing our agency for being around for 50 years and gave us a proclamation. Proclamation. And dedicating that from July 19th to July 26th is Valley Center for the Blind Week.
Here in Fresno. Yeah, so amazing.
Yeah, so we have we're grateful and honored to have that from the city. Thank you very much, and we appreciate the recognition, and we'll definitely wear that week really well.
100%. Yeah. It just another thing to look forward to and to be motivated and inspired by. And again, every time we hit a new plateau, it just warms the heart. It just keeps me going.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and this is for the community too.
Yeah.
We do this all for the community.
Speaking of community, before we forget, remember myvcb.org, everything's there, future events, also our community groups, our VCB community group, our young adult YA group, game night, lunch bunch,
book club,
coffee with Alvin, book club, and more coming. So stay tuned, and not only to this podcast, which you should be listening to every month, and if you're not, and you're finding this for the first time, welcome. Make sure you hit that follow button. You could find that podcast on YouTube, where you could like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube page. You could find us on the Facebook page, the Instagram page. Give us a good follow. Leave a comment. Let us know how we're doing. Help us share the podcast as we head into almost wrapping up now our 3rd year.
Yeah, we really are really serious about growing this podcast, and we would love you guys to continue to participate and help us share the message and share the love. So
yeah, please head out. Give us your thoughts. What do you want to hear? What do you want us to talk about here that may either help you or help inspire somebody in your life to get to either understand where you're at or what's coming down the pipeline? But our community is all there, myvcb.org. You have any questions about our community, call events, please call the center at 559-222-4447. That's 559-222-4447. Ask for Matt. Matt would love to get you connected, get you into a community call, and help you get closer to the community and find your independence. As we move on, Disability Pride Month is upon us. We have a wonderful guest in segment number 2, so please stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss an amazing story from somebody in the disability community that's doing some great things. We'll see you on the other side. It's that time again. It's time for VCB Stories, brought to you by the VCB Podcast. Joining me today is my co-host, the one, the only, Ronaldo Villarreal. What's up, Ray?
How's it going, Jason?
Another day, another amazing podcast. I'm really excited for this one, my brother.
Oh, I am too.
All right, everybody, I would like to introduce to you today a wonderful individual lady who works for RICV here in Fresno. She does outreach. She has an amazing story. Everybody, please welcome Gabriella. Gabriella, how are you?
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be on this podcast with you guys today.
And we're so happy to have you here in the month of July. We are celebrating Disability Pride Month, and Ray and I thought it would be an amazing idea to have somebody come on and talk about the broadness of disabilities and actually talk to somebody that has something different than blindness, because we always talk about blindness here on this podcast. But to celebrate Disabilities Pride Month, we thought, what a great opportunity for us to reach out to our other communities that go through similar things as we do. So, Gabriella, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you.
Gabriella, can we just go ahead and start off by telling everybody what you do for our RICV?
What I do with RICV is I am doing community outreach. So I go out into the community, talk about like RICV a little bit. I also help consumers with resources that they need in the community. Also, right now we are working on still getting training on like extreme heat and like how to save like water for like the summer.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been really fun. It's different, but I love working with RICV as well as like my coworkers and my consumers as well.
That's awesome. And we were talking before we started recording. Could you go ahead and share with us again what your disability is?
My disability is Kabuki syndrome. It is a multi-genetic disability. So it has also, I also have like a learning disability as well.
Yes.
So I don't really know much about it, but it's kind of like a disorder.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah, and I did some research on it myself, and I do understand that there's several different things that come along with Kabuki syndrome, right? Like there's skeletal stuff. It's a little bit of muscle dystrophy in it as well.
Yeah.
Learning disabilities and things like that. Yeah, so it's a multi. I'm trying to think of the word too, because I was looking at it. Multi.
I don't want to say faceted, but or multi. Dang, why I'm having a blanking moment on that.
It is a multi-system disorder.
Yeah, multi-system disorder. That's the word I was looking for.
I
was trying to use a bigger word.
Say like genetic disorder.
Yeah. No, that's excellent. Yeah. So, and that's the beauty about this podcast is we're learning something new too.
Yeah.
And that is part of what I know RICV is about is, not only spreading the communication of the resources that are out there, but just really spreading the spectrum of disabilities. And RICV serves a vast, pretty much all disabilities, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know we focus here on blindness, but we wanted to reach out just to kind of bring all communities together and kind of share our stories. So again, thank you. So go ahead. You were sharing with me, how did you start with RICV?
I started with volunteering with RICV. I had to have like a volunteer site or a work site to pass a class. And I have a friend who works with RICV. So I ended up reaching out to her, and she got in contact with Sarah Harris. And then from there, I just continued to volunteer. And then one day I got a call from Sarah, and she had asked if I wanted a temporary position with RICV. So I started that in January until March. And then in April, I had a permanent position with RICV and doing outreach.
That's awesome.
It's awesome.
This is why I always preach to people, or I tell people, volunteer. That's where I started too.
Yeah.
I started as a volunteer and worked myself into an internship and a temporary position, and now worked all the way up, up the chain. And it's a good place where you're starting. Outreach is amazing. You get to see everything in the community in outreach. Yeah. So that's awesome.
And it's crazy because the first week of like that class, I had gotten COVID. So if I had not gotten COVID, I wouldn't be like working with like RICV or anything. So it's kind of like a beneficial.
It was meant to be in some way.
Exactly.
I benefited from COVID as well. It's kind of how I'm sitting here today too. Not from having it, just for opening up some opportunities.
Yeah. It opens like more like opportunities.
It really did. It really did. And I know we're making a positive out of a serious negative for a lot of people, but especially from our community, it really brought everybody together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It opened up opportunities and partnerships as well. And where one of the biggest things we like to say is that we're no longer in silos. We're working out in the community and with other community members and organizations like RICV and Gabriella right here. So this is amazing. Were you aware of RICV before taking?
I was. I had. They do like a summer program, which I had attended. They also do a Be About It event on Fridays, and so like I was doing like those kind of things. So like I was aware of like RICV and like their resources and how they help people like advocate for themselves and stuff.
Oh, awesome.
That's great. What can you share with us? What has been some of your struggles with finding work having Kabuki syndrome?
I had only like applied to like a few, and so like I had 3-4 interviews, but then they didn't hire me on. And so like I think that there are like better people for like that certain position out there, which is fine. But with RICV, like they have like a lot of coworkers that they hire on with like I wouldn't want to say like disability, but more of like somewhere along like that line of blindness, or like in wheelchairs, or like me who has like a learning disability, and so RICV is kind of like for everyone. If that makes sense.
Some type of impairment and spectrum, they're welcoming. It's amazing.
Giving people in the community the opportunity.
Yeah.
Fantastic. What was it like? What's been your experience with RICV? What are some of the things that you find that they do that inspires you to go to work every day?
Working with like the coworkers, or having like a conversation with like consumers, hearing like their stories or like how their day was or how their weekend was, and just like a friendly environment as well. Even though like we don't see each other every day because RICV is like in like the 5 counties, but we still like have like those connections.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, for us here too, it's really about community.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I like about RICV is the multifacets of disabilities that come together as one. So, and they've been a great partner. Obviously, we're connected with Sarah Harris because Sarah Harris is a blind individual, and she's amazing and an outgoing person.
Yes,
so, being connected in that way is a great way to educate the community as well as other people in those communities as far as when it comes to different disabilities and different facets of those disabilities, how everybody can come together as one unit to push our message, which is independence.
And also just seeing the capabilities of people, with impairments, disabilities, whatnot. It's just a small barrier to, there's so much things that you can still accomplish. And I'm sure that you see that every day, Gabriella, and you're out there speaking about it and bringing people into your organization and saying, yes, you can. So that's awesome.
And how do you feel, Gabriella, that your story has brought you to this point in your life where you have these opportunities? Like, what do you think changed for you?
I think like moving here to Fresno because I was in like an independent living program called Wayfinders.
Yeah.
So I think like after I graduated, like obviously I didn't want to like go back home or anything. I wanted to like stay here and continue being continue living independently and like with the friends that I have. And I had just recently moved into my first house with some friends as well. And so it's kind of like taking like one step at a time of being independent.
That's awesome.
That is so great. That is the ultimate independence, right?
Yeah.
And how has RICV helped you in that department, like finding your independence and being able to have that?
I've learned like we all teach each other like something new like every day, or like someone we all learn something like new every day. So I learn from like their coworkers or like consumers if they're telling me like a story or like how like their weekend or something. They taught me like to like open up and like to communicate with others and just to be social.
Just to be social. Yeah. To get our message out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I totally agree to that. It's just being able to put yourself out there and be able to, just see how other people do it, and, one of the things is about when you grow up, and you wanted that independence, it's something that you realize right away. It's like, oh my gosh, you actually have to work, and do to continue to like pay your bills or, do your own laundry and general stuff, that it's like, oh my gosh, where's mom and dad for this? Now you understand. And then, you add on top of, an impairment or a disability and now you have to figure that out. And it's great that you have a community of people to go to and say, hey, how do you continue to operate your finances? Because that's something that you have to do, even no matter who you are as an adult.
Yeah.
You got to know how to balance. I'm going to say who still balances his checkbook, but you still got to manage your
even
money.
if it's like where I text my mom sometimes like, hey, how do you do this? Or like, how long do you cook this for?
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Something like that.
I always call my mom for cooking advice or something.
I just show up at my mom's door and say, "Feed me."
And they still will. They still will. But Gabriella, I want to ask you, like, how does your learning impairment, how do you deal with that on a day-to-day?
I usually, I don't have like the best handwriting, and like I'm not like the best speller.
Mm-hmm.
So I usually just like type something and then type it out like on a computer, and then sometimes it just like autocorrects me or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, autocorrect is it can be a savior, and sometimes it hinders sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's a great tool to be there. So
yeah.
Awesome.
And what would you say has been your biggest challenge moving out here to Fresno? What's been your biggest challenge?
Ooh, that's a good one.
I can't think of anything right now. I think like the biggest challenge would be like trying to like keep track of like paying like the rent on time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or because I usually just like to put it in early just so I don't forget.
Yeah.
Or maybe like grocery shopping or transportation.
Yes.
Because I don't drive just yet.
Mm-hmm.
I am still working on that. But
it's a great goal.
Yeah. Like grocery shopping, comparing like the different prices on this stuff between this stuff,
mm-hmm.
and like which one is like cheaper and more of like
your bang for your buck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just the adjustment to everyday life as you live on your own and you navigate through that.
Do you find that Fresno is a place for somebody to come and start their independence at a city?
There's also wayfinders that I had mentioned before.
Uh-huh.
So like people with like disability can attend that program, as well as attending like classes, doing like daily chores, and just making sure to like have time for yourself or doing activities and volunteering. They taught us all of that in the program in like 2 years, which is crazy.
Now, is that here in Fresno?
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay. Because I think there's a Wayfinder in LA as well.
Really?
I believe so. There's an agency that does wayfinding down there as well.
So where are you originally from? Where did you grow up?
I grew up in San Jose.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
For like a few years.
Okay.
Shout out to San Jose.
Shout out to San Jose. Yeah, that's where I'm from. I'm from Gilroy, San Jose area.
And then I moved to Sacramento.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Sacramento very well. So you've been on quite the journey from going from San Jose to Sacramento all the way to Fresno, the Central California.
Yeah.
Nice. So you've gotten to travel and meet many different people and organizations. And how's that experience been for you? How do you feel about the community in general?
The community in like general is very accepting. Like we all have our differences, but we're all the same as well. And it's good to like support each other in like other organizations.
Very well said.
Yeah.
You reading my notes? Just kidding.
She has the working eyes around here.
Right.
The two of us.
Definitely well said, because that's exactly why we wanted to have you on today, just to kind of not only share your story, but to spread the idea that we're better in numbers. And we don't always have to seclude ourselves to our own personal communities, whether it's blindness, Kabuki syndrome, some
autism.
Yeah.
So many.
There's so many of us out there that can come together and make a difference and educate our entire community on how we find our independence and how we live life. And we're not any different than they are. We just do things differently.
Yeah.
Right. If you had anything that you could say to somebody that's struggling with some type of loss in their life, it could be anything. You know, it could be vision loss, it could be mobility loss, mental, hearing, whatever. What would you say to encourage them to seek help?
That it's okay to ask for help. That's what we're all here for, and we can like come together as a community to like support like one another.
Fantastic. Because I know for myself, I struggled with that for a very long time. Just coming to the understanding that I needed help. In order to get help, you have to ask for help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of times, even when I was younger, I was lucky enough to have that support always with me through K through 12, but I didn't use it as much, and I was fearful of it. But man, I can just imagine where I could be if I accepted it even more when I was younger, you know. But it's truly, you know, the statement rings well. You know, just it's okay to ask for help.
Yeah.
There's people here wanting to help you out.
Absolutely. Before we go, Gabriella, is there anything that you would like to share about RICV or how they can
reach
you or reach the agency to get services and help? A place to ask for help, so to speak?
RICV does have a website. It's RICV.com. And the website basically just like provides like the programs and what you may need help with, and then it has like a list of like the staff members and like what their part, what they do on like their part in like their program, and then I believe that they have like their email listed like below, so you can like reach out to them.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So it doesn't matter what you're struggling with. If you need help, contact RICV. Go to RICV.com. The whole list is there. All the people that have their different departments and what they do in the organization, their email will be located there. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Gabriella, we'd like to thank you today for being a part of the VCB podcast. This has been amazing. You're an amazing woman with an amazing story, and we look forward to talking to you again real soon.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. All right. And until next time, take care of yourselves and each other.